Hello, how are y'all? It's Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, and I did a goals video. After I was editing it and I watched it to make sure I hadn't screwed anything up, I realized that my goals for 2 years ago were pretty much almost the exact same thing as they are for this coming year, for 2020. And that put me in a mood. It put me in a real just mood. I was feeling pretty down and pretty salty at the same time. And I put it up on Patreon. I said, okay, well, maybe I need to go back to basics with the bullet journal. But we all know that I'm not going to be able to stick with that. I just am too creative. It's not going to work. And then I thought, well, I've got the Hobonichi A5. I've got the Cousin for my basic plan, for all of my planning, to put everything in. I've got a week's to do my Patreon and YouTube to actually do that. I thought about making that my health and fitness planner, which I may end up doing. But I also have the A6 Enigma. It's perfect for on the go, for an everyday carry. So I could technically carry the weeks and the A6 in my purse because I have the Oxblood Whipping Post tote, which fits a tremendous amount in it, but I don't want it to be so heavy that it hurts my shoulders because I have bad shoulders. And then I thought, you know what? I have this creative journal that I've only used. I need to put this in with washi tape. I have this that I have not really used a whole lot of. It's an Enigma with 68 GSM Tomaway River paper. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, paper. So I thought, you know what, why not just do my bullet journal, creative bullet journal, because I have really have the B6, and it is actually set up for January. With goals and everything. But I thought, you know what? This is going to end up just a sort of memory keeping journal where I just journal, creative journal. I'm going to have 2 of them, I think. So that this is the more personal one, and then this is for social media, for YouTube and Instagram, and it's A5, so plenty of room. And I thought, well, why not? You know, I mean, really, why not? I thought I'd set it up. Part of it's going to be time lapse, and then I will talk you through because I'm going to be doing some watercoloring. I'm just going to have some fun, and I'm going to get some watercoloring done, and I will see y'all again quite soon. I'm going to put some magnets on some of these. These are my Holbein watercolors, and I think I'm going to put them, I'm going to redo my palette for January, and in my big one that says guitar, I'm going to put some of these colors in there. My word for 2019 was intuition. My love for creativity really came out more in 2019, and I think a lot of that had to do with following my intuition more. But following my intuition wasn't all that easy all the time. When I felt plagued with self-doubt, second-guessed myself, that fear, it was really difficult to focus on my intuition. And I had this aha moment at some point where I realized that self-doubt and the fear, the second-guessing myself, that was really stemming from a lack of self-confidence. So that made it much easier for me to choose my word for 2020 because I had a lot of different words I was thinking about: awareness and balance and harmony and all different kinds of words. But confidence is the one that I think is the best one to really narrow down the one word that will actually capture all of the things that I truly need to work on. In 2020, I thought would be a really good way to sort of have some fun with some watercoloring and some bullet journal and some creative journaling and things like that. So I have this quote that's going to be on the left hand side of this. It says, "Never underestimate the power you have to take your life in a new direction." Germany Kent. And I think that's a really good quote for the year of 2020. Because I am going in a new direction. I am concentrating on something that is really important to myself, self-confidence, confidence in general. And I'm also going to be really concentrating on creativity. I chose to get back into an A5 Enigma for bullet journaling. After a lot of hemming and hawing and a lot of back and forth, I'm also using the Hobonichi Cousin. When I started out planning for 2020, I had no intention of using so many journals and planners. But the more I started thinking about how I wanted to arrange 2020, like for goals and my vision and things like that, I realized, well, I've been playing around a little bit back and forth with A5, but since my dad died, I've primarily been in B6. A5 is a lot of real estate, and I hadn't been myself. You know, I'd been slowly but surely getting back into the swing of things, and I feel a lot better. We just had our family Christmas party Sunday, which is as I'm doing this voiceover, and it went really well, really well. So you're gonna see like a lot of different things, that some things that I have tried and that haven't necessarily worked very well in the past, but I am going back to the doctor. I'm on medicine again, and one of those medicines is a new medicine to me, and the doctor really wants me to track things. So this is the best way I can think of. Now, do I want to take my art journal to the doctor? Maybe, because he suggested that I find different ways to help me with my anxiety. So I have the future log, and I've kind of color coded it. You'll see me watercoloring things pretty soon. I sped this part up because I really didn't want y'all to suffer through me doing all these, you know, little mini calendars for that. The year in pixels is to sort of track my pain and what I'm going through. So I have hella pain, normal pain, low pain, sick, exhausted, sad, and moody. So half of the box will be one color, and the other half of the box will be another color if it's a sick day, exhausted day, sad day, moody day, instead of having two different kinds of trackers. And I had a growth tracker on there, which is just a normal social media kind of tracker. I thought my theme for January would be polar bears, Arctic animals, maybe winter, the winter theme, something wintry. And at first I was like, you'll see pine trees and snow in the B6 journal. You know, I'm kind of mixing up the winter theme. And this one I chose to do polar bears. I think in the other one, in the B6, I have winter type trees and art and winter, you know, animals. But I really wanted to do something different, something fun. And the polar bears I have been wanting to do for quite a while. So I had like a lot of fun. Found some inspiration on Pinterest and clip art, and, you know, just had a blast with it. So you'll see I'm watercoloring. I'm using my Holbein paints. I don't have a calendar in this. Like I said, I'm using the Hobonichi, so there's no reason. But I did do a January log, which you'll see. This is the, you know, the intro to January page. You'll find a notes page, and I didn't want. I know that I'm going to be redundant. Things are going to be the same thing in multiple places, which will help my ADHD squirrel brain. But I didn't really figure I'd need a calendar. If I do end up needing a calendar, I will put one in, but I don't think I'll necessarily really need it because I have a Hobonichi Weeks, have a B6 journal with a calendar in it, and I also have the Hobonichi Cousin. And I have a little January calendar in my A6 journal. So they're everywhere, everywhere. This was a lot of fun to create. I made this one more cartoony, whereas the other one looked more illustrated. I think they're all a little bit cartoony except for one. But I like to draw where you know what it is, but it looks more fun and creative, sort of illustrated like it could be in a children's book. Sometimes they're a little bit more detailed. This one's not really super detailed, the polar bears. But the other one that I did before that was, and there's like one or two other ones I think that are in here. I did use P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and I also used my Posca white paint pen marker things. I used a brush to splatter this with, and then somebody reminded me about using an old toothbrush. So I will, from now on, be using an old toothbrush. I had forgotten about that. I think my toothbrush got messed up, and I just haven't really went back to using the toothbrush for splattering. I don't know why I didn't think about it. But I was really glad to be reminded of it. The log I highlighted in the pale blue mild liner the weekends. And then this is the polar bear that's more illustrated as well. And I chose to do something different this year. I'm actually doing 20 in 2020. I want to take artist dates. So I wrote 21 artist dates, which means that I will have gone on an artist date like at least every other week. That's my goal. We want to paint our main bathroom. So that's a goal. I want to write at least 20 or more chapters in my creative journal book. And hopefully I can get that done and finished and then get it ready for editing, and I can work on the Witchy Business novel some more. You know, different things, 20 pieces of art, save $20 a week, take yoga classes each week, you know, different things, paint the kitchen, take a camping trip with Victor, that kind of stuff. So then we get to the next, which is the weekly setup, and I'm not sure if you saw it or not, or you will see it, but I did a work schedule and then a morning routine and an evening routine in here, so I kind of have a good idea because I am in 2020 revamping my routine and schedule. Shada Campbell did a weekly setup differently, I think in August and then I think in December, and I decided to kind of do it a little bit differently. I have a weekly setup that looks kind of like a calendar, and I have a quote here. And it says, if you hear a voice within yourself say you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Vincent van Gogh. So on the January tracker, I have listed quite a few things from my routine in the morning, like stretches and morning pages, to walking 30 plus minutes, to doing at least a 1 hour clean, to some admin work, to whether I am filming and editing that day primarily, whether I get a YouTube or a Patreon video up, or a post on Patreon with like a picture, or a blog post, an Instagram post, working on my creative journal class. And then I have things like plan, nap, yoga class, bed day, get outside. I have my medicine listed, you know, different things like that, so that I can keep up with some of these things. And we're going low carbs in January. You'll see me go back and forth a little bit in here where I add some washi tape and I go back in and do a little bit more watercolor where I'm adding in just extra bits. It is so wonderful to watercolor on the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. There are several different journals out there that you can find. It's really hard, however, to find a B6 with the Tomoe River paper. The one that I did find had cream paper, which I'm not a big fan of. If I run out of room in the one that I have, I already have another one that I've made. If I run out of room in the one that I'm in, and then the one that I made that I will be working in after I finish the one I'm already in for B6, I'll probably end up getting another Breeze and cutting it down, or I may end up making my own. We'll see. So this turned out much better than I thought it was going to. I watercolored and made a little tab. I did another one of those for my spiritual journal for the year. I did different things and had a lot of fun and was really excited about everything that I was doing. When I did the watercolor for the Goodbye 2019, I wanted it to be in more winter kind of colors, cool. I chose blues and purples and pinks. And then I didn't want everything to match, but I did want to have fun, which is why you have the winter scene with the moon, and you know, there's the work schedule and the routine and my trackers and the future log, and you see all that good stuff. And I'm kind of just going in to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I think that's pretty much it. I did do a key, and I have stuck it in there. It's just a basic key, nothing fancy. I think I ended up putting my key in the back, and you aren't going to see it here, but I have since added a savings log in the back with where each square stands for $20, an artist date page spread where I have circles and they represent the 21 artist dates. I have now a log for books because I want to read more books. I also want to listen to like maybe at least 12 Audible books. I may end up finding myself needing like maybe a list for podcasts that are recommended or books that are recommended. I don't know if I'll just put those down on the bullet journal page and then end up needing a spread. We'll see. But so far, I think I've covered the basics. So I may, like I said, I'm putting some of the collections in the back because I have a tendency to be more of a go to the back of the book when I'm looking, like if I have that kind of thing, than I am to go back to the front of the book. And I chose to use something I already had because I had started this sort of in November for creative stuff. And then I decided that why not just go ahead and make it the bullet journal, be creative with my bullet journal, and actually log what I'm doing. The paper is so gorgeous. I can spend a day or two on some PDFs or whatever and then scan them and they're in here. So I'm not stressing over any of it. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you again really soon. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, and if you want, comment. Those really help my channel. Bye, y'all.